The biggest issue with Manchester United right now is that their forward line of players all play the same way. Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund, Bruno Fernandes. All four of them can only play football one way, and that is a counter-attacking in transition. In order to see the best of these four players, there needs to be space in behind to run into. As soon as a team plays in a low block, a mid block, and they don't play a high line for space for Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund to play on the shoulder of the last defender and for Bruno to have space to hit the ball in behind, all four of them struggle to hold the ball in tight spaces. They can't play one touch, they can't play give and go, they can't control the momentum of a game because they only know how to play one way. Garnacho, he's a head down, he just wants to run into space. Rashford is the same thing. Højlund, he looks to run into the channels, he looks to bounce players off with space in behind. When we now look at all of those four players, it's very easy for teams, especially in modern football with the tactical setup, to try and limit these counter-attacks. And when you limit Manchester United as a counter-attacking side, they practically offer nothing. Now, when you take into consideration, when you're playing these big sides like Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, you look at teams Man United have played in the Champions League and why they perform so poorly, if United can only have 3 chances in a game, you then have to be clinical in taking these 3 chances. And that's another thing Manchester United have not been good at. They're not clinical enough when they do get these chances. And then defensively, because all four of them love to just not look after the ball, they don't like to take their time on the ball, all four of them are very erratic on the ball. Once they give the ball away, they ruin the whole structure and formation of the team. And as we've looked at, especially on my Instagram page, tactically analysing teams, all good teams start their defending from the front. Now, when your front four are all chaotic and they're always running everywhere on the football pitch, you don't have a very good line of defence starting from the front, and that then affects how you are defensively vulnerable at the back. When I look at this Manchester United team, I look at a team that's constantly all over the place, in and out of possession. There's been no coherent playing style. Amarim's came in and given them a somewhat of a playing style. We're building out from a back three. We have wing backs. But now he's beginning to realise that with his 2 inside 10s, Garnacho, Rashford, whoever he plays there, Bruno, whoever he plays there is no relationship between Højlund, Garnacho and Rashford or Højlund, Garnacho and Bruno, because all of them, at the end of the day, they just want to run in behind. They don't want to pass to each other. They don't want to link up play. They don't want to connect with each other. They don't want to play 1-2s. They don't want to hold the ball and bring others into play, because all of them don't want the ball to feet. They all want the ball in behind. When Bruno gets the ball, Garnacho doesn't show for it. Højlund doesn't show for it. They're all looking to run in behind. Now, if that run in behind option isn't available, Man United are toothless. And this is why Manchester United have struggled so much, is that our forward line, if you compare that to Liverpool's, you compare that to City's, you compare that to Chelsea's, you compare it to Arsenal, you even compare it to teams like Villa and Tottenham, or Brighton especially, all of them have different types of players that one can hold the ball up and bring others into play. One can run in behind while the other one drops into space, so the other player can run in behind while the player dropping into space has made a selfless run. Højlund and Garnacho don't make selfless runs for each other, and that's another huge issue. Our forwards want to score themselves. If you ask one of them to make a run to create space for another player to score, they don't have the footballing IQ to do that, because they only know how to run one way, and that's keep your head down and just run as fast as you can. There's a lot of problems with Man United's forward line, and it's becoming a huge issue, and it's been showed under Amarim. Now, one of the reasons why United have been successful in terms of League Cups and FA Cups is because in a one-off game, it's a knockout game, one team is going to go for it, and when that one team goes for it, you will always have the opportunity to run in behind and score. And you know what? That's fair play. That's how you win trophies. If that's a way to do it, that's fine. But over a 38 game season, when some teams are going to be a bit more pragmatic, and United don't have the creativity or the different variety of players to unlock this. And it's going to be a huge issue for Amorim having Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford and Bruno all looking to play one way. Xerxes offers something different, but even with Xerxes, I think he's new to the league. We need to give him a bit more time to adapt. But Xerxes is showing something a bit more different. Xerxes doesn't like to run in behind. But the issue that I think Xerxes is going to struggle with is, are these players going to pass him the ball in the areas that he wants? Xerxes, Sancho and Diallo would be something that we could operate and look at, because Sancho likes to link up with his number 9, as we've seen at Chelsea. Sancho likes to link up with his fullback, but I think the Sancho chapter at United's closed, unfortunately. But when I look at maybe Xerxes, Eriksen and Diallo in the 10, can we try that? Maybe have Xerxes linking up with play and then have Diallo running in behind. These are options that we can look at.